Let's do it.
How you doing tonight? Thanks so much for coming here tonight to this awesome art event with three really great people on this panel. And I'm going to reintroduce everybody right now. To the right of me is Chris Chan. He is known as Honor Roller as well. If you're into sneakers, the hype beast culture, things like that, he used to work for Nike. That's what Chris covers. He does all that awesome stuff. So please welcome Chris Chan, everybody. To the far left, you see this wonderful painting. If you've seen other paintings over the last few weeks going around a lot on social media of guys like John Starks, Nas, Spike Lee, this guy right here has done that, and that is Tom Sanford. And the gentleman next to me probably needs no introduction, especially in New York City. But he's one of the most beloved Knicks of all time. He's an NBA All-Star. He hit one of the most famous shots in the history of the New York Knicks organization. Please welcome number 2, Larry Johnson. So Larry, how did you like that intro video? It was a lot of your Charlotte highlights when you probably had a little bit more springs, right?
Don't say that. Don't say that. There was a lot of Charlotte highlights. I love the Grandmama thing, but yeah, we could have threw a little bit more New York in there. I'll take it.
Larry, it was a fun season this year for the New York Knicks, man. I mean, obviously it's been a rough 10 years or so, and this year was a lot of fun. But talk about Tom Thibodeau. He's a guy you've told me since I met you 11, 12 years ago how much you love. Just talk about how much good he did for this New York Knicks team.
When you talk about Tom Thibodeau and I met, I'm gonna go back, guys. If you give me a second. Tom Thibodeau got his start in the NBA with Jerry Tarkanian. I saw a UNLV hat. That's where I went to school, UNLV. And Tom Thibodeau got his first coaching job in the UNLV as assistant coach with Coach Tart when he was in San Antonio. So when in the first year, my first year with the Knicks was Tom's first year with the Knicks. And we had a team meeting, and right after the team meeting, now this is about 2 weeks before camp starts, he come to me, you know, got a voice like this, right? He come to me, Tom, what time we shooting tomorrow? I'm like, huh? Who you? Oh, I'm Tiff. All the time we shooting tomorrow. I'm like, man, camp don't start for 2 weeks. What you mean shooting tomorrow? I was with Coach Tart. I said, all right, we shooting tomorrow. We shooting tomorrow. So he got to get his sweat, man. I love Tiff. We had the 4-point play though. That was all Thibodeau, because Thibodeau was my shooting coach when we was here together, and we put in the work. Tiff just hour before practice, hour before the game, Tiff had to have his hour of shooting. So, man, we put in that work. Like I said, I didn't have the springs with the Knicks. But as far as shooting and the fundamentals, I was just in the gym with Till the whole time.
What effect did Tom Thibodeau have on the 2020-2021 Knicks, especially to win 16 of the last 20 games to close out the regular season? As good as the players played, how much did Tibbs help that team?
You know, Tibbs had a great deal of effect. Coach of the year, you know, I just said that. Our guy is famous. He did a hell of a job. I love Monty, but I love Monty. So, but I think Tibbs, to turn our team around the way he did. Tibbs is more of those motivators. I mean, Tibbs is an excellent guy, but what people don't know, Tibbs pull you to the side, and he just get in your ear, and when after Tibbs get out your ear, you out there, you want to go bite somebody. You know, you just want to go get it in.
Little Mike Tyson style.
Yeah, just go hard. I don't want to stop it. Just go hard. But if you look at Randall's game this year, I know the assistant coach from Kentucky helped him out a lot because he recruited him to go to college. But Till in his ear was like, man, you can be one of the best to play this game. It just really gets in your ear, and he says the right thing to just, like I said, make you want to go out and run through a brick wall. So all the credit for Till, man.
This is for Tom. Tom, I know you had said for a while you kind of, weren't watching the Knicks as much, but you were really glued to the TV all year. You were so into it. Talk about that experience for yourself, really getting your fandom back.
Well, how could you not? This team is not as likable as Larry's team, the '94 team, but it has charisma, it had stars, it has Julius, has IQ, these are likable guys. There was a long period where, I wasn't going to pay for cable. But now
your cable's back and you're watching.
Now it's exciting again. What?
No, play for cable.
Yeah.
Yeah, next RFP you sell, pay the whole year in cable.
Yeah, sure.
This is for Chris, man. I was told to ask you about when you first got into basketball, about Patrick Ewing versus Hakeem Olajuwon moment.
Yeah. So this may be unpopular, but I'm actually a Rockets fan. I wasn't a Michael Jordan fan growing up, so I loved it when he left the league, and then it was just everybody but Michael, and I just love the way the Rockets played together. And, your best friend in school picks, Patrick Ewing, and I have to pick Hakeem Olajuwon. So I just picked the right guy. I don't know.
Chris.
He sat right here with a Patrick shirt on.
Yeah, you should have kept the real and came in the Hakeem jersey, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I knew what you guys were going to be wearing.
It's all good. But how did you get so into basketball and sneakers?
I think it's mostly just not having access to that growing up made it just so much more appealing to me, especially as a kid. Especially on the East Coast, the games are on so late, and just wanting a pair of Ground shoes or Jordans, whatever, just lusting after that. I mean, I remember my first pair of React Juice shoes. I couldn't even afford yours. I had to get the J.R. Ryder one. Models, baby.
So speaking of sneakers, it seems, I've always loved sneakers. We've probably all always loved sneakers, but sneakers are, they're just exploding now and even more popular than ever. Larry, talk about your first sneaker deal. How involved were you with it? And was that like a dream for you? I always want to have a sneaker deal, or were you just like, oh shit, I got a sneaker deal?
Of course, that was always a dream. Again, we go back to UNLV. I was always a Nike guy. UNLV was a Nike team, and I just knew I was going to get a Nike contract. And when I was drafted #1, the rep for Nike was a guy by the name of Sonny Vancouver. I don't know if anybody knows Sonny, but he was a rep for Nike. And he called me after about 2 weeks. Now, I was drafted #1. And after 2 weeks, I see Billy Owens get a Nike contract. I see Stacey Augmon, my guy, get a Nike contract. Yep, IQ. Dikembe from Georgetown get a contract. I see about 4 guys that went up under me get contracts. So I called Sonny, and he was on the phone. He didn't want to tell me, he said, Larry, they don't want to sign you because they don't think you're going to be a good pro. I said, all right, Sonny, don't worry about that. It's just motivation. Don't worry about it. And my agent at the time always knew. But he knew I wanted to be in Nike, but he knew Nike wasn't going to sign me. He just was waiting on Nike to tell me they didn't think I was going to be a good pro. So we went to Converse, which was in Connecticut at the time. I don't know if this is where it's at. But man, we drove, We flew into LaGuardia. We drive into Connecticut, and I see about 10 billboards, welcome Larry, come. I'm like, oh, y'all better set it out. You know what I'm saying? All these billboards on the way down to Converse, and then when we get there, they got like 300 of the employees doing these chants and all that. So, and they really messed over me, guys. Can I tell a story about Grandmama? They tell me, they give me $1 million, and they say, we want to put you in a commercial with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I say, ooh, I'm signing. And I signed, I took $1 million from my mama's house, and the season starts, I'm with Charlotte, and I'm killing it. But I'm waiting on this commercial. I'm like, ooh, I'm telling Muggsy, I'm telling Dale Kirk, wait till you see my commercial, wait till you see my commercial. Me, Larry Bird, and Magic. They come to me about 4 months into the season, and they're like, Larry, we're ready to do the commercial. I said, all right, we ready. I show up to the spot, and I see this dress. They say, this your what is it, not locker room, but, dressing room. I go in there, I see a dress, a wig, a hat. I'm like, who wearing that? Right? And I'm studying people in my room, because I'm looking for Magic and Larry. They come in there, they go, Larry, we're not doing that commercial. We're doing this commercial with the grandmama and the so-and-so. I say, you know what, guys? If I had that $1 million, I'd give it back to you. I'd give it back to you. But man, I ended up doing that commercial, and people recognize me not from basketball. Like sometimes ladies be 60, 70 years old, and their son be like, that's Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson played for the Knicks. She's like, I don't know. The one that wore a dress that was done. Oh, you doing that? Yeah, that was me. So I
Larry, speaking of grandmama, everybody knows the famous Family Matters episode. How did that come about, and how awesome was that?
Jaleel White wrote that episode. You know, he was a big basketball fan, and he could play. He was just short. He really could play. He had skills, but he was loving acting, and he went to high school just to play ball. He had little skills, but he was short, and he just wanted to do he just wanted to do an episode with a basketball player, and he wrote the whole episode, got me down there, and to this day, I'm still cool with Jaleel. Good guy.
That's awesome. And Larry, another thing on the sneakers, tell me and the audience about the commercial that almost happened between yourself and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I tried to avoid that. The reason I tried to avoid that because Converse rep told, I said, man, why we never did that commercial with me, Magic, Larry? And he said one of the guys didn't want to do it. And he didn't tell, I said, I don't even know which one wanted to do it. Don't even do it. I don't even know who didn't want to do it. But so this is the commercial we're supposed to do with us three. I'm laying on a gurney. I'm covered. You don't see me. And Magic and Larry on either side, and they're doctors. They're doctors, and they're performing a surgery. And they go scalpel. You know, they got the mask on and all that, the white scalpel, this, that, and they go, we're finished. The perfect basketball player. And then they said, we gotta name him. And then Larry said, well, his name gotta be Larry. But Magic said, no, Johnson. Larry Johnson. And then I raise up. Like, come on, man. And the commercial goes off. Right? I'm like, I'm signing. I sign right there. Larry Johnson. I raise up. And the commercial goes off. I'm like, I'm doing that. And we're gonna do that. And like I say, 4 months into the season, they said one of the guys didn't want to do it. They come out with the, yeah, for real. I don't know. But I will say this. Me and Larry Bird was super duper cool. The whole year, man. My first game of the season was against Boston Celtics, and he gave it to me. He gave me the business. But he talked to me the whole way. You're going to be all right, young fella, take this. You're going to be all right. I do everybody like that. I was so cool with Larry. I was cool with Magic too, but I was so cool with Larry.
I think we got our answer on that one. This is for Tom. Chris, tell me the impact that this guy right here, Larry Johnson, had on you guys growing up.
It was like kind of profound. You know, I grew up in a very white suburb, like Bronxville, New York. Many may know about this. And so, like, you know, I only had access to black culture through the NBA and MTV. And the moment that Larry Johnson came to the league, it was like NWA arrived in basketball. You know, people talk about the Fab Five, they talk about Iverson, but for me, Larry was the guy. You know, like, he was so bad that I was scared of him. Like, you know, he was just the coolest guy, the most devastating player. And, you know, people talk about you in terms of Zion now, but I think there's a better comparison. Like when I always thought you were undersized, you were faster, and you were stronger than every other player. You were like Mike Tyson in basketball. And you were the meanest, you were the most intimidating, and that would be the comparison I would make. And then haircut too.
That's the only comparison me and Mike got, the tooth, man. Not fighting like that.
Yeah, I would say definitely the same. Black culture wasn't so present in my life when I was a kid, so it was mostly through watching Inside Stuff and Modern Shot on the weekends. And, just whatever music videos are on TV. But also just the way he played. Like we all saw the reel, just so much power and ferocity. Like it's just incredible to see in your part. That was really hard.
Yeah, the part is dope. I wish I could get that, but that's not happening anytime soon. Obviously, you have one of the most famous plays in New York Knicks history, the 4-point play. Everybody that watched that game has their own unique story, so I want to get everybody's unique story from that day. We'll start with Tom. What was your day like on that early June day in 1999 on a Saturday early evening?
Well, so that was, for me, I had graduated college about a year before, and I was living in the city, I think in Bushwick, Brooklyn at the time. And, I was an artist, I had no money, so I didn't have cable TV, but, when there were important games...
You have some trouble with cable.
Yeah, I know, I do have it now, don't worry. But anyway, so in order to watch, to play out games particularly, you have to go to bars. And so I was at this bar, this really divey bar on 14th Street, no longer exists. It was called the Blarney Cove. I don't know if anyone remembers this place, but it was a real shithole. And I used to go there with my high school and college friends to watch games because beer was cheap. And that particular night, I'm there with my buddies, and there are two very attractive British tourists there. And this is very unusual because the Blarney Cove did not attract women of any kind, especially not attractive British tourists. Anyway, so watching the game, and I'm a huge Knicks fan from being a kid. Like I came up watching. The first teams were like the Stu Jackson teams. So I had Mark Jackson, Kiki Vandeweghe. I got Maurice Cheeks, like these guys. I loved it as the team got better, more players I loved, and they got to be more lovable team with Starks and Ewing and Xavier went down before those guys. Awesome, Ewing used the whole time. But anyway, point is around in 1994 I was a senior in high school, and that kind of culminated that team's run. And then I went up to college. I could no longer watch the games, but I started watching again when I got out of college in bars and that sort of thing. And so this team was even more likable, even more cool than the '94 team, in my opinion, because you kind of upgraded everyone. You got Marcus Camby now. You got Latrell Sprewell. He was the most incredible player. And you have Larry fucking Johnson. And I'm loving this team. And that night, watching the game, what happens on the court, and I will tell you about that. But after the game, I kissed the more attractive two British tourists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and look at that, I considered that the greatest night of my life. and the reason it happened was because of
I'm on credit for that.
Absolutely, because the Florida was crazy. It was the funnest night of the year. It was just incredible. And while I know that didn't win the series, for me that was just like the culmination of being a Knicks fan. I wasn't alive in 1973, so that was the best, most gratifying Knick moment of my life, and I also thank you for that, Larry.
Well, my story isn't as exciting, but I'll tell it real quick. As the people here that know who I am, I'm kind of a big Knicks fan.
I am now.
So that was a very stressful game. Series tied at 1. We were down about 10 points with 3 minutes left. So to say that I was freaking out would probably be an understatement. We cut the lead to 3, 5-6 seconds left. And anybody that knows me or grew up with me, I had just a crazy obsession with Spree. It wasn't healthy. So right before, call timeout, we're about to inbound, I'm like, get the ball to Spree, get the ball to Spree. And my uncle was sitting in the front row, all chill, calm, cool, and collected, just goes, no, get the ball to LJ.
No, he did not.
He did, absolutely. And all of a sudden, Charlie Ward inbounds, Jalen Rose tips it, Larry gets hammered, and boom! Hits the 3, Chris Child saves the day, hits the free throw, the next play down, Mark Jackson misses the shot in the paint, and the Knicks win! The Knicks win! And I didn't kiss a hot, British girl, but I celebrated with my uncle, and it was freaking awesome. Now, Chris, we've established that you don't bleed orange and blue, but do you have any memories from that day?
Not from the day, but from the next day, because I think I saw the highlights in the morning. But I do remember in the first series that I ever saw, when they were against Pacers, when Reggie Miller did that.
No, come on, man. You're killing us over
You grab that?
It was really cool that you gave it back.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll take it.
Fair enough. Let's go to the guy who made the shot, Larry Johnson. Let's hear your story from that day.
Again, we got to go back to Tibb because we was prepared. Jeff Van Gundy, as far as the head coach, is being prepared, knowing what the other team is going to do, we was on top of it. And Tibb and I, man, some of the best times when you can really get work done is right before the playoffs starts. You get about 8 or 9 days. That 8 or 9 days, you let your body kind of heal up, but then you just get everything sharp. You sharpen up on everything. And Tibb and I just lived in the gym. And I say this to youngsters all the time when I go to camps, we talk about preparing. I just knew I was going to get that shot. Before we drew up the play, when we drew up the play, the play was for Allen Houston and second Sprewell. Then I was the third option. And I tell children all the time, hey, you want to get open, set picks, because I was setting 2 picks. But before we walked out of on the court out of the timeout, Marcus Camby pulled me to the side. He said, man, this ball coming to you. Because any team that plays good defense, they're going to take away the first and second option. If you're trying to say you're a good defensive team, you can't let teams get their first option. So we knew they was going to take it, and Jeff knew this too. Knew that they was going to really take away Allen and really take away Spree, and then I was just going to pop to the ball. And let me say this. If you go back to my UNLV days, I only played 2 years at UNLV, junior year and senior year. Won a national championship the junior year, lost the national championship the senior year. The senior year when we lost to Duke, it was because I didn't shoot the ball. We had, I think we was down 2, and I had the ball with like 8 seconds, 9 seconds left. And honestly, don't y'all tell nobody, I choked. I panicked. I was the college player of the year. In 8 seconds, I got the ball, 2 seconds, and I panicked, bro. I passed that ball. But I said to myself, I said, aha, never happened again. Never happened. I thought I could pass. We was only 8 seconds left. Check out this. I thought I could pass it and get it back because I was trying to get down low. Like, no, bro, it's 8 seconds left. We ain't getting this ball back. You should have shot that. So when that ball came to me but I did it with the Charlotte Hornets, I did it. I had like 15 seconds with the Charlotte Hornets, I get the ball, and Dale Curry trying to get over, stop, I'm not passing this ball, bro. I did this in college, I'm shooting this ball, win, lose, or draw. And once this happened with the Knicks, I got it. Spree was trying to, y'all can quit, y'all can stop, be still, I'm shooting. They was trying to get, I think Allen, actually, if you look at it, when I first got it, I couldn't do it to Allen real quick. No. I'm shooting this one. So that was my spot, man. I wasn't passing that ball up.
How much?
I think I was 4 for 5 from 3-point range.
You hit a lot of threes in that game, including a bank from like 30 feet out.
We're not going to talk about that. I called it. Right at the end of the quarter, right?
Yeah, in the quarter. How much credit do you give Chris Childs for making the free throw?
He get all the credit.
All the credit?
He get all the credit.
You didn't even shoot it.
He get all, no, I shot it. That's another thing, guys. If you look at that free throw, it had no business going in the hole. That's the worst free throw I've ever shot in my life. The ball stuck on my hand. I pushed it and everything. I'll just say it was the garden. It was just the atmosphere of the garden, because that ball had no chance of going in.
Now, Larry, obviously the 4-point play is probably your most popular shot, but you hit a lot of clutch shots as a member of the New York Knicks. Why are you always so good in pressurized situations?
I've heard this before. Let me say this. I've heard this before. Jeff has said this. The swing 4. You basketball guys, you heard that term called swing 4, where a guy like Porzingis or myself, who plays the 4 but can shoot the 3, that kind of opens it up for the big man. And that was one of the reasons I was traded for Mace, who was a very popular Knick, to come here because we needed more to beat Chicago. We put that team together to beat Chicago. They wanted to have Patrick be free down low and have like 4 shooters around Patrick. And if you look at our team, if you have Allen Houston on one side and maybe Spree, or even Chris Childs, who was shooting probably 42% at that time, Charlie Ward was shooting. If you put us out there, John Starks, I'm the one going to be open. And the ball just tend to find you. If you're playing a good defensive team, we're going to take away this, we're going to take away that. We got to live with Larry shooting the 3. And I knew that, and Till knew that, and so we really worked on that.
Your coach, Jeff Van Gundy, when you were a member of the Knicks, got a funny Jeff Van Gundy story?
Here you go. No, I don't have no funny Jeff Van Gundy story. No funny Jeff Van Gundy. Very serious.
Something you said to get you hyped up, and what did he say before a big game?
Jeff cussed everybody out.
Before the game?
Yeah, before the game. Punch in the chest. He was, Jeff swore he could have played in the NBA, so, he kills us, but you don't want to talk about him leaning on the leg, so.
I mean, I could ask you, obviously, when you.
I hit Jeff, right? Do anybody know that?
I didn't think you hit Jeff. I've seen him play 1,000 times.
Look at that play, man. When Jeff slid down Lonzo's leg, because I socked him. I wasn't trying to look at my head coach. I wasn't trying, but and then he said after we was in the locker room, and I'm like, Jeff, did I hit? Like, yeah. I'm like, Jeff, my base on. Don't worry about that. You jump in the middle of gladiators, you're gonna get knocked down. All right.
What was that locker room like after that? Were you and Jeff just like, yo, what's up, bro?
I was hurt because I knew I was gonna be out a couple of games. And when you do stuff like that, like during the time when me and Lonzo got into it, I was, you like this. And you go in the locker room, you get about 10 seconds, you go, you dumb, so and so. So, yeah, I thought about it when I got in the locker room, wasn't a good idea. And then the guys, me and Alonzo is cool, I get that question.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the heat of the moment. People, I said that too, I said, Alonzo, we open ourselves up for this criticism now. Oh, they didn't like each other in Charlotte, we heard they used to beef in Charlotte. Never none of that, bro. We was cool in Charlotte. Alonzo wanted more money, so he was traded. They didn't like me afterward. They traded me. I wasn't the reason he got traded. He wasn't the reason I got traded. We was cool, man. It's just the heat of the moment got into it.
I can't imagine the media making things up for attention. I mean, that would never, ever.
Okay.
Back to Tom. Tom, obviously your Knicks fandom has inspired a lot of your pieces. And for those that don't know, you have some awesome pieces of famous Knicks players. So you could talk about some of those pieces you've done.
No one really wants to hear me talk. But I have painted a whole bunch. I painted a painting of Clyde, for the exhibition over at the Mike Ram Gallery. I painted a lot of other Knicks. So my first basketball painting I think I ever painted was like 1999. I made a painting of Patrick, doing like the arms out, the famous pose. So that'd be my earliest Knick painting. I painted Starks. I actually painted when Marbury got traded to the Knicks. I made a real big kind of altarpiece to Stephon Marbury. Him standing in the middle of Coney Island with sort of pigeons eating Nathan's hot dogs around his feet, and it was kind of like a religious-looking painting. So I used the basketball keys like an arch over his head, and it was like I sort of presented on standing on 2 basketballs, and I thought it was like a shrine, so I could pray for a Knicks championship because I figured with Stephon coming home, it would be so poetic, but of course it didn't work out that way. I'm trying to think any other Knicks I've painted.
Yeah, you did a John Starks painting?
Oh yeah, of course. You got to do a dunk painting, the dunk, of course. I've done several Ewing paintings over the years, but basketball is something that has always inspired me. It's much more artistic than what I do.
Now you also have some hip hop paintings. I know you're a big hip hop fan. You got one you just posted on your Instagram and tell everybody where they can follow you as well, of Nas. How did you get so into hip hop?
Well, everyone who grew up in the United States in the last 40 years is into hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm no more of a fan than anyone here. But if you grew up in New York, you like Nas, right? And so he's like the greatest lyricist of Queens. I can make a painting of him. I a long time ago when I was much younger, I made a lot of like icon paintings of rappers, like Biggie icons, Tupac icons, Baby or Minnie or whoever the kids may be, and the kind of history paintings of events within hip hop, like the shooting of Tupac in Las Vegas or in Times Square, other stuff like that. And these paintings were kind of about me being, a suburban white kid consuming and learning about black culture through media and the problematic things about that. Like on the one hand, some of the stuff is, it's really kind of problematic representations of blackness, I think. But I sincerely, and like most of the kids I grew up with, sincerely love this stuff. And I think that part of why our culture is slowly progressing in the right direction, very slowly, is because of kids like me learning about. I worked out really quickly that there was nothing cooler than blackness, quite frankly. Like, and I wanted to be black. And so I made paintings about this, about like my love for this culture and like my love for the style. And I don't try to present myself, in kind of sort of aping. A culture, but it's what I think is interesting and important and beautiful about America is this sort of thing. These basketball, hip hop, the art that comes out of hip hop culture, like graffiti, things like that. It's always interested me. It's profound stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, Chris, you have a lot. Now, Chris, you have a lot of awesome work as well. This stuff right here Chris has done. He does a lot of what you call sculptures and things like that, including an awesome one of Patrick Coon, which unfortunately is not here right now. But Chris, talk about some of the work that you do and also where people can find you.
Okay. You guys can all find me on my Instagram. I go by Honor Roller. A lot of my work is also rooted in hip hop culture for a lot of the same reasons as Tom. For me, growing up as not white in North America, I guess you just gravitate towards like being an outsider. And to me, like hip hop was kind of always about that. It's always kind of like rooting for the anti-hero in a way. And for me, I just related very closely to that. A lot of my sculpture comes from my interest in stop motion. And I was very recently, I was given an opportunity to work on the Biggie movie. So we did actually like a stop motion kind of capsule of the Juicy video. And that was like a huge honor for me because that was such a big song for me growing up. I don't know, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think you did. For Tom, what was your first memory of basketball and hip hop? Like the first one that you remember that you're like, I really love this shit.
Yeah, I actually don't have a good answer for this. I moved here from England because my family lived in England until I was 12 years old, and I moved to New York, and I pretty quickly became a Knicks fan because I could get away with sort of pretending I was studying with my folder on my lap while I was watching the basketball game. As long as I got good grades, my parents let it go. And I don't know, I try to think what the beginning of hip hop for me was. I think I was aware of Run DMC when I came over here, but I don't think that necessarily correlates. But the two things are so interwoven. Every rapper wants to be a ball player, and we obviously oftentimes ball players want to rap too. So they're just intermeshed.
Absolutely. Larry, there's a new Space Jam movie out, and you were a part of the original one. What was that experience like?
We had a blast. We was in LA, we was in Hollywood for about a month, had your own trailer. I got to hang out with the Michael Jordans and Charles Barkley, my man Muggsy was with us. Cool guy, Sean Bradley, Big Sean Bradley, 7'6", hung out with Sean, great guy. We had a blast, I enjoyed it. It took about a month. And you know what, interesting, I didn't have any lines in that. When I first was asked to do the movie, I had no lines. And once we got there, they was like, have Larry do it, have Larry do it. Somebody was supposed to say something, they would say it, now have Larry do it, now have Larry do it. Then, after it was over, my agent called, he said, you want to be an actor? I said, no. He said, well, they owe you more money, they're going to pay you more money because you got more lines. I was like, whatever.
Now, did you play in these famous pickup games at the Space Jam?
I played in a couple of guys, I'm telling you, they built, on the set of Warner Brothers, we was only there for a month. Mike was there the whole summer. Michael Jordan was there the whole summer. They built this gym to work out in. It was a bubble. It was like a tent. It had it was better than our arena in Charlotte. It had showers, it had flat screens. It was crazy that they built for this guy to work out because he was there the whole time. And some of the basketball games was crazy. In LA, everybody stayed in LA during the summer. So you had about 25 pros on the court. And if you lost, guys was going home. Like, oh man, I'm going home. Magic played every day. I don't know why Reggie was down there. Oh, he played. Reggie played every day. Yeah, he's in LA. Reggie played every day. Man, you had about 25 pros on the court.
And these games were intense.
Oh my God. And like I say, when you lost, you didn't get back on the floor, so wasn't nobody trying to lose.
No, that sounds like a good time.
And it's just that. There was only two teams. It was Magic and Michael. They walk in and Magic picked 4 and Michael picked 4. That's it.
Wow. And you were on these first.
Well, but Larry, Michael picked first. It was his movie. I got picked first a lot of times. And Bart got picked first a lot of times too. Xavier was down there hanging out, playing with us. It was just guys. Look, it was like 4 guys that was in Vegas that heard we was balling and they come through. They come out. We took a plane to Vegas, come play today. Like, well, come on, man. Come on, man.
Now imagine if there was social media around then. Could you imagine the videos we'd see from those games?
And well, I think a couple of flare-ups, we got a couple of fights, so I don't know if you want it on social media.
Yeah, listen, things were a lot different back then.
Yeah, man, a couple of guys threw down.
What was the second Dream Team experience like?
I loved it. I wish we went somewhere. Anyone here from Toronto? Okay, cool. Oh. I need to get it back anyway. I need to get you back anyway. They go to Hong Kong, we go to Toronto. I'm like, come on, man. I can drive to Toronto. I want to go somewhere. But the NBA is first class. They set it out. That's the first time I've ever been around, like, you on a bus with police, police escort. I'm like, oh, we big time. You get to the hotel, police everywhere. It was just a great experience. And David Stern, rest in peace, he came to us, he said, guys, because we was a little bit, if you look at Dream Team 1 and Dream Team 2, they was way more polished, and we had some roughnecks on our team. Me, Alonzo, DC, Sean Kemp, we had to be a little bit, they had to treat us a little bit. No, Gary didn't play with us. No. We had Dumars was a point guard, Reggie was a guard, We had these guys, so they had to put us a little bit more range on us. David Stearns, rest in peace, he came to us, he said, man, listen, we know this y'all summer, we ain't gonna take this summer away from you, do what you gotta do, just don't lose. So, all right, he said, just don't lose. He said, all right. And we did what we had to do, bro. Every night we was out, every night. I'm talking about party, guys, I'm talking about party. I'm not talking about playing. No, we didn't lose, we lit up Toronto, bro. You didn't hear about us? You remember Dream Team 2 losing? We lit up Toronto, but no, we didn't lose, bro. We did it.
He's a Dream fan.
Yeah, he wasn't on that. It is good.
Larry, I'm sure you had a bunch of wonderful teammates throughout your career, but who is your favorite and why?
I can't answer that. I get it a lot. I can't do it. I get it a lot. What's I'm gonna say, Bud? I'm gonna say whoever passed me the ball the most. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick Ewing's an awesome teammate. He one of my greatest. Patrick got 4 assists. He ain't passed me no ball.
What about John Stark?
I love Mr. John Stark. He ain't passed the ball neither. He ain't passed the ball. John Stark shooter than pass it. But no, you talk about the Bugsy Bowles that just make sure you get down. Charlie Ward's, all these points guards that pass first, shoot second. Oh my God.
What are your thoughts on the NBA game today?
You know, you hear how soft it is. I think, nothing stays the same. Everything changes. And then, like, the youngsters, they love the games today. Steph Curry came out with that, so, that was a whole nother element of the game. Just the young and small guys say, oh, man, I can do that. I can do that. Just another element of the game. I wouldn't say, of course it's different, but I wouldn't say I dislike it. I can watch it. And then you see some resemblance of when we play. You see, oh, I like that team, But, you know, that's soft, that's soft. I wouldn't
It's
necessarily
also
say
the
that.
rules too, there's a lot of different rules. Back
What
when
is
you
it,
played handshakes,
Yeah, you couldn't do that, no, what is it, analytics now, is that what his name? I'm like, look, I got a quick story. The first time I came back 10, 12 years ago, Kurt Thomas was on the team. And you know, Kurt Thomas,
the best offensive player you ever played with.
he deserved all the shots. So I'm telling you, Kurt is crazy. But Kurt was on the team with me, and Kurt was on the team when I came back with
Marcus.
Mello them. Yes.
Mello, yep.
And they got, you know, with this analytics, they put on them shirts and it's got like a chip in the back. Have y'all seen this? They got those shirts that they practice in, and they got a chip in the back that supposedly monitor how you doing. Man, Kurt came into practice one day lit, right? And don't tell nobody. He lit. And they started practicing. I'm like, yo, bro, put some gum in your mouth or something. Go stand over there. He get to practicing, and then you got one guy in the corner on the computer, and he yelled out to Coach Wilson, take Kurt out, he overheating. I'm like, I look at Kurt, and Kurt out there practicing, he don't know nothing. He like, Kurt, come out, you overheating. And Kurt look at me, he just throw his hand up like that, I'm overheating, bro. And he let that man practice the rest of the practice. He didn't practice the rest of the practice. I said, boy, if that was Jeff Van Gundy, you'd have never came out of practice. And he overheated. Well, you keep going. Analytics. There's nothing wrong with Kurt.
Now, how many times has Kurt Thomas, now for those that don't know, Kurt Thomas, when he was in college, led the nation in scoring and rebounding.
He'll let you know that. He'll let you know that. Look, but it's at TCU though. I told him that. You playing against SMU, you playing against Texas Tech, you supposed to get 40.
Now, is that true? He used to tell you guys you wanted the ball more, right?
Of course. If you don't get the ball, are you kidding? He tell Jeff, and don't let him hit a shot. Don't let him hit a shot. Go 2 for 2. I could have went 10 for 10. No, you couldn't. It was wide open for the 2 you got. Look, he didn't make no moves, beat nobody or nothing. Just throw it and shoot. Stop, Kurt. Stop, Kurt. No, Kurt. But he did lead college basketball in scoring and rebounding.
He tried real hard.
It's going on. Kurt was big. Look, Kurt from Dallas, Texas, so he get all the credit from me. That's a hometown boy. Yeah.
Well, man, this has been so much fun. I want to ask Tom and Chris, what's next for you guys? And what should people be looking out for in the future?
I'm going to keep on making art. And actually, I'm doing a collaboration with Patrick Ewing sneakers, like Ewing Athletic. It's going to drop for the 2022 season. Yeah, so
For me, we're gonna start working on like a stop motion, more narrative stop film, short film, sorry. So that's probably gonna come out in probably about a year or two, and then we also have a project that kind of in the works with Nike right now. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank all of you guys for being on this awesome panel. Tom, Chris, Larry, thank you everybody for coming. There's a screening of the premiere that's coming up next, so hang around, grab a drink, have something to eat, and thank you all.
Hey guys, thanks for coming, man. I told the Knicks, I said, why ain't nobody but 20 people who's gonna be here? Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the market line. I want to thank everybody here. We have a night plan for you guys. We got drinks over here. We're going to do a screening of a special video. Hang out, chill. We're going to celebrate the closing of the show. We still have some unsold pieces at our gallery. Come hang out with us tomorrow. We're closing out tomorrow. We're at 48 Hester Lebo. Good night. Hey, where's that music? Claire, where's that music?
Is this where you're gonna start? Alright, so
Hey, CD.
How'd I do? Good? Thank you guys. What's that? Oh, I thought you said, can I get that laugh? Thank you for coming here, CP. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you all for watching. I love you all, man. Love you all.
Alright, Knicks Nation, yeah, this is live and direct, man. LJ in here. We're live at Essex Street Market. LJ and Anthony in the building.
CP doing great things.
Yo, great job, bro. Great panel.
Of course.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Mosul, what's good, man? What's good? We downtown, bro. LES, bro. What's going on? Come take it. Yo, let's talk.
We talk great all the time.
Yo, I had to know what's that. We talking about playground basketball. Street ball. We talking street ball.
We also talking how he do the whole.
Yeah, but see, I throw all that out the window. I'm talking about straight hoops.
Sue's Vonde
Straight hoops.
Come on,
Straight hoops, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, we here. Essex Street Market. This was basically an art gallery. As you saw, the two artists there with LJ, and it, as they said, it was an intersection of basketball, the culture, hip hop. I didn't get to the gallery yet. I thought the gallery was going to be here, but it's actually around the corner from here. But this location was where the interview was and the panel was with Anthony and everything like that. So it was a good time, man. Great job by Anthony once again. Glad to be a part of it. As you see here, it's Taj Gibson's parents right here. Stafford Don, Wagwan General. There's Taj Gibson's parents right here, man. We here. Yeah, Los Knicks, just rewind, man. You'll get it. Yeah, man. It's LJ taking pictures with the fans and the artists. Yeah, man. Taj Gibson's brother right here. RJ. Cameraman doing his thing. Yo, Ann, what's next?
I'm gonna hang out. I'm just gonna walk my uncle real quick.
Okay.
I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
No problem. All right, bro.
I forgot the name of the screen. I thought it was that, but I wasn't No, it's never just that one. I've done a million more. Never just that one.
Is that thumbs up button for you boys? What's up?
Oh no, I was just gonna put this on.
Okay. I might not even need it, bro. It's
Really?
just the way things are going. Yeah. I'm not sure if you know what I mean?
I'm just having it up.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we're just here. We're gonna do a video piece soon by Duncom, and then yeah, we're just gonna hang out here. Tuesday, got another dope live event on Tuesday. I'm gonna be at Clyde's Wine and Dine. Dr. Dick Barnett is doing a fundraiser, so we'll be there. Myself, Jake Brown from Big Apple Buckets podcast will be there. And yeah, we're gonna be interviewing Dick Barnett, Clyde, Starks will be there, Allen Houston live from Clyde's Wine and Dine on Tuesday. So make sure you guys check that out. That'll be live from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And then Sunday, David Zenon coming for the draft coverage. So tune in, man. We here. Randy, what's good, Randy? Tasha's bro getting an autograph. Yeah. Mr. Gibson, what's going on, man? Hey, what's going on? How you, man? Good, man. Hey. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I went to the restaurant work. Oh, we were at the event. They recorded us. We were at the event.
Oh, get up. Oh, shit. You right, man. Yeah.
I was watching the show for tonight.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Taj family here, Pride of 4th grade. You live, bro? I'm good already. All right.
You let me go?
See a market right quick? You see a market?
It's KnicksFanTV.
KnicksFanTV.
What up, Knicks fan? We in here.
Want to know?
KnicksFanTV, LJ.
That's fire. That's fire. I get right there.
Yeah, all right.
I want to say thank you.
There you go. Gotcha. Hold this one.
Well, sit in.
Yeah.
This what we're talking about?
Yeah.
This what we're talking about?
That's it right there. There we go.
Number one. KnicksFanTV.
Yes, sir. LJ, appreciate it, bro. Get together with it. Yeah, thanks. Here we go. It's Pops repping. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate you, Pops.
Oh, yeah. No, I gotta make 4 points.
All right.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, respect, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Was that the mark? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yo, Pops, how you feeling, Pops? You had the KnicksFanTV shirt.
You see that happening all day?
Yeah. Respect, man.
all day, every day.
Of course.
You just bringing it home, representing.
That's it.
CP, the whole crew.
Yeah.
Listen, Summer League about to start.
Yes, sir.
Gonna get the work in. Get ready for the 2021-2022 season. Absolutely.
Appreciate you supporting, man. Appreciate you supporting the wave, bro.
All the way.
Yeah, how you feeling, man? How you feeling, bro?
Listen, I feel good. I'm just mainly focused on next season.
Yeah.
Let's just keep taking steps forward, get better each and every year, and just trying to win that ring. That's the main goal.
Yo,
just
give
win
the
ring.
people your IG, man. Let them know where they can find a good videographer, photographer.
Hold on, give me 1 second. At DMAC Shot That on IG. DMAC Shot That. Got it.
Let's go. Run down.
Take this guy's picture.
Yeah, so it's brother, yeah. Yep.
That 99 team. Woo.
Team.
Had heart. Had heart. Remember, Ewan was out.
Yeah.
Had heart. Had heart.
AC. You know what I'm saying? Struggled. They had a tough year.
Absolutely.
Up and down year.
Absolutely.
A lot of injuries. Sprewell didn't get off to a great start.
Absolutely.
You know? This came together at the right time, man.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's such a small team.
Yeah.
Such a small team going up against big talent.
100%.
But, yo, that team had heart. Just didn't have the manpower at the end.
Right. That's right, man.
Just like I said, man, just keep making shots, going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Stay with the young core, try and build through the draft. If we can get a few key pieces here and there, that will definitely help, but don't blow up the whole team to get one big start. That's 100%. But we're heading in the right direction. It was exciting to see the team take major strides this season.
Yeah.
Coming into the season, I did not expect, us to make the playoffs, let alone the 4th seed. So just great to see the team doing good again. And let's just keep it up. Let's keep it up.
Let's do it. Well said, man. All right, people. So we're gonna get out of here. It's a great event. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Next show will be Sunday. David T now coming through our last draft show. Check that out. Tuesday, Clyde's Wine and Dine. Thursday, NBA Draft. We lit. Let's go. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys one more time. We out of here. Peace.